Hey again. I don't even really have a plan for these videos. I should have at least written out an outline, but I didn't. And so I'm just winging it, okay? Just us, right? I really hope that the world doesn't come look at this little video and make fun of it. But anyway, I don't care. So anyway, I just went over kind of the different parts of your camera and that you need a SD card and charge your battery and basics, okay? So right now I'm going to just go over kind of how the camera works and sort of the internal parts because I think it's important to know that. So back in the day, we didn't have digital cameras. We just had regular 35 millimeter cameras was just the word you threw out there. It's kind of like a Coke being a soft drink. 35 millimeter camera meant that you're taking photos with 35 millimeter film in your camera, and your film that went in your camera, the square, the negative part was 35 millimeters. So that's why. And sometimes I accidentally call this my 35 millimeter camera when I'm not even using film. I mean, it's a digital camera, so it's DSLR, digital single lens reflex. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit about the internal parts because I think it's important for you to kind of know what you're working with a little bit. And did I already say photography means painting with light, photo meaning light, and graphy meaning painting or drawing? So that is the whole deal with a camera is the light. Light, light, light. And you're balancing the light to create an image on a sensor in your camera. We used to use light to create an image on a photo, on a light sensitive film in the camera. But now it's a sensor so that it becomes digital and you can get your pictures onto your computer easily. All right, I'm going to kind of go over a little bit. This is real basic, but I think it's really good for you to know. Okay, so what happens when you take a picture is light comes in through the lens, goes through the aperture, hits a mirror, bounces up on some other mirrors, okay? And then that's what you see in your viewfinder, okay? So when you take a photograph, the light comes in, you push the button, and the sound that you hear is this mirror moving up out of the way so that that light can hit this sensor, okay? Used to be the film, all right? The other part that's very important, though, is that there's a shutter. There's kind of a curtain, a metallic curtain in front of your sensor. So when the light comes in, goes through the aperture, the mirror flips up, and then the shutter opens and closes, and then the light hits the sensor. And that's how you make a picture. All these mirrors here and this bouncing around is just so you can see the image through the viewfinder, okay? All right, so because we're painting and drawing with light, we have to control that light. And two ways we can control it in the camera is by the aperture and by the shutter. The aperture is the size of the opening and how much light is allowed to come through this part. And see, this is housed in your lens, not in the camera itself. I'm going to draw a line here so you can see. This is in the lens, and this is the camera body. So you're going to determine how much light you want to come in by this aperture, and then you're going to determine how fast or slow the shutter opens and closes to expose your sensor. I hope that makes sense. So what we're doing is we're juggling these settings. How much and how fast or slow, or how much time, that'd be better. So the light comes in, you're determining how much light comes in, and then you're going to determine how long that light can hit that sensor. Got it? There's a third way that we control how much light is put on that sensor, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So there's your real basic understanding. So remember, aperture, shutter speed. The aperture size, the shutter speed. Okay?